What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the Truck Parking Clubhouse. It is Monday night. Let's get into it. If you haven't checked your inbox yet, 49 minutes ago, Taillights issue 66 dropped in your inbox. We got a lot of mainstream media action going on in the trucking industry that I don't think has been seen in many, many years, especially regarding a freight brokerage. So we're breaking down CBS going into a major freight brokerage on national news last night. I would break that down in the newsletter, as well as New York being in the hot seat with getting some federal funds pulled from up there, being made an example of. So the Department of Transportation secretary isn't pulling any punches when it comes to enforcing how CDLs are being issued, as well as some other great health tips and some partner codes for you guys out there, as well as a video ask for you guys, which will give you some free parking. We're looking for some of your feedback, so go check it out. Taillights in your inbox. But without any further delay, let's roll right into hanging out in the clubhouse with my good friend. How we doing, Deja? Welcome to the clubhouse. And I pronounced that right?
Yes.
All right, perfect. Let's go. Where are you tuning in from? Where are you at?
I am in Missouri right now at a truck stop. Cameron, Missouri.
Let's go, I know Cameron, Missouri well. I think I might have stayed at whichever truck stop you're at in Cameron. I think I've definitely gone for a couple of runs there. I might have actually. I think I got possibly chased by a dog in Cameron, Missouri.
Oh my goodness!
When I was out for a run, it sticks out.
They do be wild. They do be loose around here too. I've seen it before.
Yeah, Missouri and Arkansas, places where they frequently off the leash dogs, at least at houses, but. And nothing against people from Missouri.
Yeah.
But either way, let's dive right into it. I mean, you're at a truck stop in Missouri. I'd love to know how we got here. How did you get into trucking?
Oh man, that's a very long story. Hope people got their popcorn ready. No, I was kidding. It's crazy. I used to live in Atlanta for a year after I graduated college. And after I graduated college, I always wanted to move to Atlanta because I went to an out-of-state college at first before I moved home. And then I met someone that was doing hotshot trucking. And that's how I kind of got put on to the trucking industry. But I didn't take it serious because I was still pursuing my career, which was journalism. This was all during COVID and stuff. So trucking just came back around my life through a partner of mine. And I took it seriously after that. I got into school at a technical college. I did it for 2 months. And then literally within a week of school, I was working at a job. So like I said, I got into trucking through a friend that I met in Atlanta who had his hotshot trucking business at first. And he taught me how to dispatch and stuff like that. And then that's how I got introduced into it.
Let's go. And we got a special guest with us. What is that?
My dog. Sorry, his name is Winter.
Winter. Yeah. That's a beautiful looking dog we have there. Say hello, Winter. Feel free to wave to the live viewers. If anybody has any questions for Winter, feel free to drop in the chat. Well, that's a phenomenal. We've had people come from, we've had prior EMTs, so many different choices. I think you might be one of the first people I've ever known or met who was into journalism beforehand.
Yeah, I was MMJ, that stands for multimedia journalist. I was working at news stations and things like that, like real polished resume. I wanted to be a sports reporter because I was an athlete growing up in high school, did a lot of sports. And I watched, not all sports, but, basketball, football, volleyball. I love Olympics. Stuff like that. I'm into winter sports. I don't know all the winter sports, but I will watch those things, so that's the path that I was going down before I became a truck driver. So it is a big, huge difference.
And is that how Winter got their name? Because you love winter sports?
No, because he's Wyatt. Actually got his name from a friend. She was supposed to get him, and we got the same dog. Out of the same breed. She has a girl, and then I have the brother, and she was supposed to get him, but she ended up getting a girl, and I couldn't figure out a name for him. So I was like, what did you plan on naming him? And she was like, Winter. I was like, can I steal it? And she was like, yeah. So that's just how that went.
Let's go. Want to give a real quick shout out to my buddy Milos, who just gave us a nice shout out. Yes, we did just hit 5,000 locations nationwide, which is a huge milestone that we're very proud of, especially just as we continue to add truck parking nationwide. So big shout out, Milos. Thanks for ripping in with the Clubhouse of this night. We'll have to get you on the Clubhouse here shortly too, Milos. But kind of going into that, so you go go to a technical school, you get your CDL. What you don't have to share any company name, but where'd you get your first start? What did you start hauling, and kind of walk us up to what you're up to now?
So I went to MATC. It stands for Milwaukee Area Technical College, in the Oak Creek area of Wisconsin. So I went there for 2 months. I did go through the winter season, so I was able to actually learn how to drive a semi truck in the winter and the snow. And then March 14th is the day I passed my test, and March 20th, literally 7 days after I started a job. And their name is Truckin. I will recommend anybody that's like in the Milwaukee area, whether you've drove before or if you're a beginner, a really good company. They, when I was in school, the school would have jobs come to us so they can tell us about the companies that's hiring and things like that. So I was kind of able to get that experience in advance, and know what kind of job that I want, because my instructors knew that I wanted to be OTR, and I'm all about traveling and just living my life. So they pointed me to Krupke Trucking, which is in like Jackson, Wisconsin. And it's a third generation owned company. So very small company, but hey, I really did good there. I stayed there for 2.5 years before I became an owner operator.
Awesome. Spell out that company name for me. We love it when people want to
Uh,
highlight companies. I'd love to drop that in the comments.
it is KRUEPKE Trucking.
Recommended. So there we go. Krupke Trucking recommended. Dropping that in the comments for anybody who's, whether you're listening to us live on Instagram, wherever you're checking this out. If you're somebody who's either looking for maybe your next role, third generation owned, so family owned company. There we go. Yeah, we always love to highlight any good carriers where drivers have been at. That's something that's I think always incredibly important as people are trying to find either their next job or what they would like to be their last job, depending on what they're going for. That's awesome. And
I
yeah,
hauled dry haul there too. Like, it was mainly drive-in. They do have dump trucks there. And I probably drove my first tanker with that job too. It was empty, but we were picking up like a tanker to bring it back to Wisconsin. So that was the first time I drove my first tanker there. And yeah, so basically drive-in stuff is what I've really hauled in. Yeah.
perfect. And you made the decision to become an owner operator. What made you want to transition? I mean, you recommend them as a good company, but what made you want to get off on your own, and what are you currently doing?
I've always wanted to like expand and go above and beyond. I've always been like that. Like, even if I was in journalism, I was going to go above and beyond. But I'm not a person that's like stay complacent, or comfortable. I always like to try new things, and I always want to be my own boss. So I figured doing trucking, I would be able to step foot into entrepreneurship. And right now, I am working for Landstar. So yeah, and I think I've been with Landstar for about 7 months now. So I actually got my truck last year in September, like end of August, September, through Lone Mountain. So, and then I hopped on to Landstar. I just saw a lot of good things about Landstar when I was doing my research on trucks and stuff like that. I was thinking about other companies, but Landstar just stuck out to me the most. And I just decided to give it a shot. The way that this all happened was really crazy because, I was working very hard to build my credit. I saved up a lot of money. And then, like, literally last year on my birthday, I had like a little party and stuff like that. And I was, for some reason, transferring money over, and I scrolled down and my credit went down so drastically because of student loans. And I thought, like, I couldn't get a truck. I just thought it was over now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, my credit is so messed up, I can't get a truck. But that didn't stop me. I just say, you know what, just go ahead and pull the trigger. Things like that happen. So, and luckily they didn't go based off like credit score. So I just pulled the trigger, and I've been wanting to pull the trigger. And even though that happened, I was like, hey, we got to take a risk out here anyway. So I just ended up doing it. And then now I'm here.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, you've recommended Krupke Trucking to everybody else. How's things going with Landstar? Do you think if drivers are either looking to maybe put their numbers on hold or whatever, you think Landstar is a good place to be right now?
To me, yeah. Even as a starter, if you want to, Landstar is a good company. I'm still fresh in the game, so I'm actually still learning as I'm going now. So, you're going to make mistakes and things like that, and all you have to do is learn from them. So anybody that's like coming on to Landstar, people that I run into like over the road ask me these questions all the time, like, is Landstar a good company and stuff like that? And I'd be like, yeah. They'd be like, are they, fair? And I'm like, yeah. And they'd be like, I plan on coming in the next month or so. So I don't have nothing much to really say about them because it's like I'm still fresh in the game. So, but as of right now, so good. It's good to me. It's been good to me.
That's awesome. No, good to hear that Landstar is doing good for you. We've got our buddy, just another OTR guy. He's doing a lot of heavy haul stuff with Landstar. Are you still doing dry van with Landstar?
Yes, and I've been pulling hazmat, so this is my first time ever pulling any hazardous material. I've always had my endorsements, even when I was in school for trucking at the technical college. Like, they encouraged us to get our endorsements just for like extra credit for like our tests and stuff like that, and for our grades. So I got my doubles, triples. I have my tankers. I have my hazmat. I do plan to get my TWIC card. So yeah, like hauling hazmat since I've been with Landstar, it's been my first time hauling it. So I like it, honestly. It's a lot of rules and regulations and stuff like that, but this will be my first time hauling hazmat. And I think it's pretty dope that I'm like, using my endorsements. So
That's good. And when it comes to how you're running with Landstar, what's your typical schedule like? Are you working? Are you on load boards at all? Kind of how are you able to dictate where it is you've been running?
I kind of still go based off like how I was with my company job at Krupke. So basically, we just ran southeast of the country, not much of West Coast or East Coast, like Southeast regional, Midwest, maybe come up through the Carolinas and the Virginians, and then I come back home because I'm used to those routes. Whether it's like fuel efficiency or like toll-free routes and things like that. So I try to keep it like that because that's what I'm used to. And then I forgot the other question you asked.
Oh, just basically, yeah. How often you're able to get through the house, kind of like setting your own
Okay.
schedule.
So I'm usually over the road like 3 weeks at a time, and then I come home for a few days. But lately, I don't know. I been home actually the past few weekends, just over the weekend, still making good money while I'm catching a load over the weekend, over home, delivering on Monday. So when I first started, I was staying out for like 3 weeks, but it all depends on like just how I'm feeling and what I have going on. I'm trying to make sure that I prioritize family time as well as an owner operator, because as a company driver, I was gone over the week and I'm home for the weekends, cool. But now as an owner operator, I have that like flexibility to be home longer than 34 hours. I can stay home as much as I need to and then get back on the road. So I like that type of flexibility. So yeah.
Let's go. And kind of thinking future is Landstar the next few years. I mean, you talked about being entrepreneurial. Do you have a vision of getting your own authority eventually, branching out, continuing on, or is kind of like hanging with Landstar where you want to be, kind of want to grow in that capacity?
Yeah, definitely want to get my own authority and get a few more trucks under my belt. I'm not trying to be such a big company or a big fleet of trucks, but I do plan to have at least 4 to 5 under my belt with my own authority. And then I do plan to branch off to other type of ideas that other business ideas after this. So, but keeping the truck company still as afloat, but adding to more business ideas and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Gotcha. Awesome. And what kind of truck do you currently have? One of our viewers on YouTube is asking for a truck tour, but kind of what you see is what you get right behind you. But yeah,
Oh,
what kind of truck did you get?
I have a 2020 International LT 625. I do have the 826 series engine. I used to driving a Cummins because that's how I was with Krupke. So I was driving international trucks with them. So when I was purchasing the truck, I kind of was trying to stay with what I know. I know things under the hood with internationals. The 826 engine is definitely different than what I'm used to, but right now, I mean, I don't know if people have seen like the inside of an international, but let me see if I can. I don't know if I can flip this camera. Let's see. No, sorry. Okay. I don't know if you guys can see. No, sorry.
Oh,
But
there we go.
I have stuff everywhere, so please excuse the junk. But I did take out my passenger seat. I'm used to actually having passengers with me. It was when I was even with a company driver, my mom, my sister came on the road with me, so I'm not used to not having a passenger seat right there. So I did take that out and put a little couch here.
Oh, that's a
And
sweet
then,
setup.
yeah, then I have my rugs here and I have my bed. I do have like a TV over here. It's kind of like a big, huge tablet TV here. And I got it mounted here. And then my clothes and things like that is all up here. I actually just refolded everything last week because it was so cluttered. And then, my bed. This is where I get my rest. My beauty sleep. So yeah, and then the front here, regular steering wheel, got my EOD tablet and everything like that. So
There we go. Baseball pro. He's a regular Clubhouse viewer. He's always he always loves seeing what people are riding around in. We'll have to get for you tuning in baseball pro. We'll have to get just another OTR guy back on here too. He's got like a shower and everything all set up. He's
oh
gonna be
my
freaking
goodness.
yeah. He's got one of them super sleepers. It's a sweet ride
Oh,
he's got, and you'll probably bump into him one of these days if you're hanging around Landstar. He's always moving around. But that's awesome. I love the. That's the first time I've seen a friend of mine took his passenger seat out and he had a rowing machine that he would carry with him.
mm-hmm.
That's how he stayed in shape. But I love the that little couch setup to be able to just like sit
Sit.
back in that chair. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's freaking that's good living.
I had a big, huge, I had like a couch, like a little mini one-seater couch sitting right here, but it was too big, so it was taking up too much room, or I couldn't just a little bit of walk room to my bed and to the seat. So I ended up just taking that out and getting this from Myers, and it just goes perfectly with the colors that I have. Purple is my favorite color, so I'm trying to transition the purple out to something new. So I just like if I was at home, I'll change my sheets and colors and redecorate. So I treat this like this is my own, which is my own.
Absolutely. No, it looks good out there. And speaking of your home, I know you're parked up in Cameron, Missouri, but kind of shifting gears a little bit, I'd love to hear about the first time you had heard about Truck Parking Club.
So when I was doing research on trying to find a truck and things, I was like, so okay, where am I going to park this thing? So I was looking up online and I came across Truck Parking Club. And as I was saying before, I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So when I'm come home, I'm trying to find something that's close to where I live. And I did have one experience with Truck Parking Club. When I first booked, I think they had like a special going on, $100 per month, but I didn't feel safe parking my truck there. I asked the companies around, how is it over there? Which was where it was at was kind of like in an okay area in the inner city of Milwaukee. So it's kind of like, but now I park in like Brown Deer, Mequon area. Very safe, park my personal car there all the time when I'm going over the road for 2-3 weeks at a time. My personal car is sitting there and it's safe and sound. I never had any problems over there. There's another location that I parked to in the Milwaukee area, but that one's it's like me and this other guy were fighting for the spot because it's a good area. So I ended up just finding something else. But So far, so good. I really like Truck Parking Club. So, but yeah, that's how I figured it out. I just Googled like places to park your truck, and then Truck Parking Club popped up, and then I was like, well, what is this about? So that's how I tapped into it, and then booked my monthly parking with you guys.
Awesome. So yeah, you're able to keep your personal vehicle when you don't have to. Yeah, you don't have to worry about where your car is when you're out over the road. You've got your personal vehicle there. That's good, working out. And I know, I think you stayed at some locations not too long ago in the Georgia area.
Mm-hmm.
How did those end up working out for you?
Oh, it's this one place I park at all the time. I go there. It's in Forest Park, Georgia. It's kind of like the heart area of Atlanta a little bit, more like near the airport area. Um, like I said, I stayed in Atlanta for a year, so I'm kind of familiar with some areas around there. And so crazy how I found out about that spot. I think I was maybe sitting still somewhere, and I knew that I was going to be in Atlanta for the weekend. You know, I have a lot of friends out there, so I was trying to figure out where can I park my truck that's close, and safe, because I don't think it's that many truck stops. And the Atlanta area, if they are, they're probably very packed. So I found this one. It is gated. You do have to have like a code to get in, and very quiet. It's very huge. I let Winter run around, without a leash, and he just runs freely. I've never had any problems there.
Let's go. Good to hear. That's awesome. And when it comes to yeah, that place in Forest Park in Atlanta, I'm pretty sure. I mean, you've got the picture in Atlanta, and then you're really. I don't know if I necessarily want to stay there myself,
Yeah, no.
and I never have.
I don't think I ever have. I think I tried riding through there once, with Krupke, because we used to deliver in Austell, and I was trying to find somewhere close until I found out that we could park at the receiver. So once I learned that we could park at the receiver, then I didn't have to look for parking nowhere else. But now, since I'm on my own, yeah, I was like, yeah, I have to find something close. And then that's when I used Truck Parking Club, and I found that location. And it's right off the highway, right off a parkway. It's in like I want to say like an industrial business area. So it is like a business connected to it, I think. And yeah, I don't even remember how many spots there is though, but the people park there, sleep there. I've seen people sleep there for days in their resets and stuff like that. Um, Only thing bummer is if you're there and if you don't live there, then there's no bathroom nearby, so you'll possibly have to go, I don't know, Uber somewhere or something like that. Or yeah.
Good to know. Good to get that feedback. And for in case anybody, if you're out there, if you need truck parking again, if you're looking for a place that needs restrooms, just always a reminder you can cycle those amenities right on the app in case you're looking for parking tonight by chance. You can make sure you can cycle amenities. It'll eliminate places that don't have restrooms available. Well, that's great. I gotta. This is. I wasn't going to ask this, but you had mentioned earlier about how you do love to travel. What's your what are your favorite places to travel, or what's your either your
Mm,
favorite highway, your favorite route? What's like one of the best places you've been? What's your top tier
man,
list?
I try. I try to avoid Indiana at all costs. Of course, I think we all know about that state. And then, geez, what? That's crazy. Now I just can't even think, because you travel so much to places you just can't pinpoint. Hmm. I don't know why I like Ohio. For some reason, Ohio is a pretty decent state to drive on. The roads are really good. Um, let's see. I'm always going to Georgia. If I'm not going somewhere, I'm always in Georgia, because that's like my pit stop where all my friends are. So I'm probably always traveling there. Um, let's see.
Or even what's the coolest place you've been, or a place that sticks out where you're
Okay.
like, man, that's
Well,
crazy.
well, I just went to Arizona for the first time this year, which was like maybe a month ago. So I rode to Phoenix for the first time. I've never went through New Mexico, never really drove West Coast before. So just the sceneries over there was so beautiful. The mountains over there was so beautiful. So far that would be the place, just West Coast. It's probably one of my favorite places that I've traveled to because of the scenery, and just looks beautiful over there.
That's awesome. Kind of, and going to the, or I always have said one of my favorite stretches is definitely that stretch of 40 that goes from Tulsa all the way out riding of 40, old Route 66. That's like,
Mm.
it's one of the best drives you get. You cover so much ground. It's wide open. There's not really any that much traffic. But what I do love, there's definitely some Ohio listeners on here, and I'm sure that there's some good Midwest respecters who will love to hear some good praise for the state of Ohio.
Yeah, to me, I feel like Midwest has some really good roads. Besides, like I said, besides Indiana, so I try to avoid that at all costs. I know really good money goes through there, like to Ohio and things like that. So sometimes it's hard to avoid 65. I mean 70. Sorry, I-70. But if I'm going to go to Ohio, I like to travel on. I think it's Interstate 30. 30 from Indiana to Ohio, smooth ride. Like I
Oh,
love going through there.
70. Yeah, 70.
Yeah, 70 in Indiana. I think, yeah, I would not drive there, but I don't like it. I know they're doing construction on there now, so I'm happy that they're finally, fixing that up. But from through Indiana to Ohio, I think it's Interstate 30 because I was just over there in like Findlay, Ohio last week, and Magador. I think it was like Magador, Ohio, or something like that. And I was hauling hazmat over there to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So I always love driving that interstate. It's very smooth, 65 miles per hour, fuel efficiency, perfect.
Easy money. Let's go.
Yeah.
Well, we got a couple minutes here. I'd love to ask, parking's our biggest issue, but what's an issue going on in trucking right now that you wish more people were talking about?
um, I feel like I don't know. I tune into some parking news, like with all the CDL holders, they're the people that's doing things illegally or anything like that. They're kind of knocking down on that. I did see you did mention earlier about the New York thing. I did see that over the news, um, but I'm trying to think here.
Hey, I mean,
Besides,
if stuff's good in the hood, then that's perfectly fine. You don't necessarily there's no right or wrong answer to it.
yeah.
It's just if there's anything that sticks out where you're just like, man, they really need to fix this.
Mm,
I always like to give people the stage.
I don't know. Right now, fuel costs. Get it back to normal because that's sucking up most of the money that we're profiting from. So if fuel prices can go back down, then hey, I'm happy.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely where a lot of people are pinching now. I think as all things equal, things really started trending upward, and then the fuel has really kind of thrown a wrench into things. And I'm hoping and praying every single day that drivers and fleets are able to get some reprieve on fuel prices. But it's good. Yeah, we need those opinions out there. I should probably do. I know in our newsletter last week that goes out to basically. That also goes out on LinkedIn. We mentioned some stuff going on about fuel. We have some stuff, updates. We've got a couple newsletters that goes out. Taillights goes out on Monday, but we've been mentioning some stuff about fuel. So hopefully things start to trend in a downward position. We'll see. We're always monitoring the situation going on at the Strait of Hormuz. But other than that, last question I got for you. If you can, again, you've had an unconventional way into the industry, going from journalist to now owner operator, which I think is absolutely incredible. Which there's opportunities for that too, and we know you make content, which I'll have you plug in a moment. But if somebody came to you, hey Deja, I really want to get my CDL. What's the best advice you can give me when it comes to getting into the industry, or what would you tell yourself if you can go back and do it all over again?
I would say if you are a person that's a go-getter, that's goal-oriented, um, I would say get your CDO. I mean, it's a good starting point to other entrepreneur ideas. If you have anything else in mind that you want to do, I feel like trucking could be a good start, especially financially. You know, if you're money managing correctly, you can definitely use trucking as a stepping stone to get anything else started that you have in mind. Sometimes, let me see. Trucking did for me. I think it kind of made my road rage a little bit worse. No, I'm just kidding. But I don't know. I would say that if, like I said, if you're a goal oriented and a go getter and you're good at money managing, you could definitely start whatever other business idea that you have in mind. As long as you're staying focused and you're grinding it out, I say go for it. You know, it's a lot of driving, it's a lot of sitting, you know, it's a lot of, you know, making sure you're paying attention to the road. But hey, I mean, that's really nothing. I mean, you can get that done and make your money and branch off to other ideas if you want. So
Absolutely. So go for it. And what would you say? What would you say is the best pathway for them to go? You think they should go kind of that route, like going kind of like how you went to community college?
I say yeah. I know there's a lot of companies out there that probably do it fast in maybe 3 weeks or so, but I really feel like that 8 week type of program, you kind of could be got enough time to grasp everything to actually really fully train to be a professional driver behind the wheel. Because as we all know, we haul heavy things, you know, heavy haulers. We haul 80,000 pounds worth of things. So just taking the time to actually understand driving and what it takes to be a truck driver. So that's what I would say.
Let's go. We love it. And you, good, solid advice right there. Perfect stuff. And you're a living testimony of what somebody can do if they get into this industry, kind of the pathway you've got. I mean, you said you were a company driver for 3 years, and then you got your trucking lease on a Landstar, correct?
Yeah, 2.5 years company driver, then leased on to Landstar, and after 2.5 years of company driving.
There you go. And you're rolling strong. So if you really think about that, if you're a driver who's either thinking about getting the industry or wherever you're at, I mean, that timeline right there of 2.5 years of grinding it out, saving up, and then to be able to go on your own, start building your own business and connecting and getting out there. You've got Deja as a living testimony of it. And people can follow along with all of your adventures too. Where can the people find you?
I do have YouTube channel. It is Deja, my first name, Dazia apostrophe Lachelle, Lachelle. I do have an Instagram. It is Deja, my first name _ the journalist. And I do have TikTok. What is my TikTok name? Hold on. Let me see.
Let's get to it. So she's everywhere. So you can follow along, get all the good, good details.
My TikTok is Deja, Dazia _ Lachelle, Lachelle. So, I know one more thing too. If you guys are risk takers, I think being an entrepreneur and being on your own is all about taking a risk. So I mean, when you take a risk and if you fail or prevail, you learn lessons from both ways. So
absolutely, take the risk, take the shot. We've only got one go around at this, so might as well get it done and get after it.
Yes.
Well, number one, Deja, I want to thank you for coming on the Clubhouse on this beautiful Monday night. I know Winter has got to get outside and stretch his legs.
He's chilling. Like, hey, Mom.
There you go.
How's it going?
That is, yeah. It doesn't get any cuter than that. We love when the furry friends make a guest appearance. But, and won't be the last time either. We'll definitely swing back around, see how things are going, especially as fuel starts to go down. You can fill us in on everything else you're doing. Maybe we'll get you and OCR guy on here to talk a little bit of Landstar stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But and I want to thank everybody else who tuned in. Appreciate you jumping on the Clubhouse again. We're here every Monday night around 7:30ish. Again, we go off driver schedule, so we were a little late today, but doesn't matter. We still want to come here, chop it up, talk truck, and answer some questions and get into our drivers and our partner stories down here. We work and partner with drivers such as Deja because she is an individual. If you've been listening for the last 35 minutes, she is an individual who wants to help leave this industry better than she found it. That's what we do at Truck Parking Club. We just crossed over 5,000 locations nationwide. We help truckers save time and fuel, so that way they're able to instantly reserve truck parking nationwide at any given moment. And so if you need parking tonight, Deja's got you. You can use the promo code Deja20. It's right at the bottom of your screen to get you $20 off your next booking. But with that, guys, we'll see you back here next week at the Clubhouse. Stay safe. Let's hammer down.
Yeah.